you to logging in. So logging in can be done with a regular SSH client to Kebnekaise, like I did here. For instance, PuTTY or something. I'm running Linux on my computer, so I'm just opening a terminal window, and you would do that as well in a Mac. And on Windows, you would install an SSH client. And we do have information about that on the documentation page if you need it. If you need a graphical interface, you would then need to either install something like Xming, or you could just use ThinLinc instead. Then you automatically get a graphical interface. And another option is Desktop Open OnDemand. There's also a graphical interface there, but in this case, you get it on a compute node. And that means you're actually already running a batch job session. So you can work interactively, run stuff directly without running in the login node because you will already be running on a compute node. And I will show that in a moment. So here, the idea is that you should try and log in this session. And in a moment, I will suggest to do that. But I'm guessing most of you already have tried logging in, because it sounds like you're already using the system in some way. But you should log in with either ThinLinc or SSH, and later also try and log in with Desktop on Demand. And we will also look at the interactive applications there. So if you're just logging in regularly, you're using this login node here, kebnekaise.hpc2n.umu.se, and you wrote SSH and your username at the ampersand, and then not the ampersand, don't remember what it's called right now. The at symbol, Kebnekaise, HPC2N, UMU, SE. And then it asks for your password. If you're using ThinLinc, the login node is named kebnekaise-tl.hpc2n.umu.se. You can log in through a browser. Simply copy this here and put it into a browser. It gives you less features, but most of it works there as well. But if you're logging in with ThinLinc, then you would use this here. And then there's the Open OnDemand, which we access through that one. And there are also login nodes specifically for the AMD nodes, and those you use when you want to check what modules are available there, but also if you want to compile something specifically for that. So let's go ahead and say ThinLinc and open it. And then you get a small pop-up window like this. You put the server, kebnekaise-tl.hpc2n.umu.se, your username, and then you should put your password here. It's important to put it there because it will ask for it otherwise, but it will fail if you don't put it here. So let's look at options. Make sure it's in windowed mode, especially if you use a laptop. Otherwise, it may be large and flow larger than what will fit on your screen. This you can ignore, but security, make sure it's set to password.
I'm not sure if we are seeing your screen, your active screen right now.
Oh, it's sometimes misbehaving where it's not showing things I pop up because it wants to be safe. Just one moment. I'll see if I can fix that. It's not letting me do that. Let's try. I'm trying to reshare. No, it's still pausing it. Okay. Just one moment. Let's see why. I will stop share and then I will start share again. Let's see if it goes well to open. See what happens now. Still there. And it picked annotate. Why? Okay, you see this small pop-up window now with the ThinLinc client.
Yeah.
Good. So put the server, put your username, put the password. It's important to actually put the password because otherwise, when it asks for it, it will fail if you don't put it there. And then also click Options. And when you have options, it's important that you pick windowed so it doesn't flow too large to fit on your screen. And then security, make sure it's set to password. I think that's it. Pedro?
Yeah. Notice that the server name for ThinLinc is Kebnekaise-TL. And for SSH, it's just Kebnekaise without the -TL. Yeah? And the second thing is that this username and password are the ones that you receive for HPC2N and not the ones that you use for Super. They are different. Yeah?
Yes, that's very important to notice. Yes. Yes, so I connect. And then I get this here, a ThinLinc connection. I am now on Kebnekaise ThinLinc login node. And here I can work like this. I could open a terminal. This was not the right way to do it because this is a shortcut I made. So let's go instead here, Applications, System Tools, and then a terminal. And then you work as you would on an SSH connection, but you now have the option to open things here because you're already on the ThinLinc login node. Some small number of things. There's a browser and I think MATLAB and RStudio. It is, however, easier to use those things through the Open OnDemand. I'm just going to shut this down for a moment or close it like this. In any case, I would say that we recommend ThinLinc for the course, unless you already use another SSH client. There will be some application examples where you need a graphical interface, so it's a good idea to either have that installed or to use ThinLinc. And there is now also, since late spring, the Open OnDemand Desktop for running things directly in a batch job session. And this is what I just showed you. And that is what I am suggesting you should now do. So let's take 2 minutes and then try and open a terminal. If you are going to use an SSH client like this here, so then use that to log in with. Otherwise, open a terminal with ThinLinc. Install ThinLinc first if you haven't already. Your first temporary HPC2N password, you should have gotten a link to a page to create that when you created your username. Otherwise, you can go here to this link here. And here you can authenticate yourself through Super. And then it will give you a new temporary password that you can use to log in with, and which you should change when you have logged in. But let's take 2 minutes. Okay, I will continue with the section here. File transfers. We are not going to do the file transfers as part of the course, but there is also a course for file transfers. If you need that, you will get information about that through the NICE training newsletter. But otherwise, we have a lot of information examples on HPC2N's file transfer documentation page. And you find that through the docs HPC2N Umeå essay page. So if you're using Linux or Mac OS, you're recommended to use SCP unless it's a larger amount of files you're transferring, then rsync is probably better. It's also described on that page. The simple way to transfer a file with SCP, if you're transferring from Kebnekaise to local while you are on the local system, you would simply say SCP your username at kebnekaise.hpc2n.umu.se. So the login node here, and then a colon, and then whatever the file is called, then a space and a dot. Then it transfers, it will ask for password, and then it transfers the file to your local machine. If you're on the local machine, you simply do opposite. SCP file, and then username and Kebnekaise, and then colon and file, or whatever you want to call it at the Kebnekaise system. And you can do it recursively as well, for instance, a directory with -r. Another option is SFTP, and you can use that as well. Then you simply SFTP to your username at Kebnekaise HPC2N Umeå SE. It logs you in with the password when you give that. And then you can use put and get to move files. On Windows, you would need to download a client. WinSCP FileZilla is you're doing SFTP and is free, or PSCP, PSFTP, or whatever client you want to use. There is documentation here at the Windows file transfer page in HPC2N's documentation. Okay. We very soon have a coffee break, but I'm just going to go through editors and Open OnDemand first. So you may be used to either Windows or Mac editors. So because of that, there's a very short overview over the editors that are available at a Linux system. It varies a little bit depending on how it's set up. But at HPC2N, at least these are available and good to use. There's Nano, it's the easiest one to use if you haven't used any of them. VI or Vim is quite powerful, but not very friendly. It looks like this. You say VI and the file name, either an existing one or one you create. And then you basically have to remember any commands you need to use it. So there's Emacs, which is best if you have graphical interface, but Nano is easy and good to use. Just say Nano, and you can either open a file that you already have, or invent a file that you want, or just say nano and then it will ask what you want to call it. So let's open this. So this looks like this. You can write something directly. This is my file, like that. And then maybe you want to save it. You hold Control down and press X. You can see there are commands here at the bottom. This tilde, no, not tilde, hat character means hold down Control while you press the letter it shows. So let's try and do that. Control X. And then it says, should we save the modified buffer? If yes, you do that. And then it asks what do you want to call it. As default, it will call it what you used when you opened it. Otherwise, you can change it if you want to. And then press enter and it saves it. And you now have the file here. And that is an easy editor to use. There's a manual here. I will just find ThinLinc again, and then I will show you a GUI editor. Let's see. Where was the link? Should be here. There. Here are also different editors, applications, accessories, and here you can pick one of the editors. The easiest one to use is text editor. It's quite like Notepad in many ways. So you can simply type, and you can open new ones here or here, save it, and here you can do things like find and replace. Sorry, I have something in my throat. But this is an easy editor to use if you have a GUI. So the last thing I'll do before the coffee break is that I will just mention ASP.C2N Open OnDemand Desktop. And that's something we opened up just before the summer. And if you have used LUNAC or C3SE, you may have tried it. So to use it, you would use this link here. So I'll copy it. And if you have an account and a member of a project at ASP.C2N, you can use the Open OnDemand Desktop. It's a web service, and it allows you to start a job directly and then work interactively on a remote cluster from any device that supports a browser. And we have some interactive applications installed in it. So there's a desktop where you get simply a desktop where you can start various things on, including terminals and stuff. And that will be running directly on a compute node. So you can run maybe Python scripts or whatever directly without running on the login node and disturbing other people. So that will actually run as a batch job. And there is the Jupyter Notebook. There's MATLAB, RStudio, and VS Code. And I think that I'm going to show you how it looks. And then you can take a look at it if you want to, or you can do it just after the break. But I will just open it here. So it looks like this. So I log in. I am now logged in. It looks like this for now. It will get to look nicer later. We are still configuring it. You see here, first there's a file browser. You could take this here, and you can use it to upload and download simple files, short things. And yeah, you can move around in it as if in any other file browser you're used to. Then you have your active jobs, and there's a job composer, which I'm not sure works right now. No, it did. Okay. So it tells you a little bit of how to start a job here, but let's go back here. Sorry. Pedro?
So, yes, for this Open OnDemand portal, some web browsers like Safari maybe don't support all the features. I have seen some issues, for instance, with MATLAB and Open OnDemand, but in my case, I use Google Chrome, and you are using Birgitte. Chrome or
Using Chromium. And that
yeah, I see.
Firefox also works.
Okay, yes, but in the case of Safari, yes, there's I noticed some issues.
Yeah, but Chromium, Chrome, and Firefox should work fine at least. Those I know should work, but I haven't tried Safari. So here on the interactive apps, there's the Kebnekaise Desktop. I'm going to start that in a moment. And then the Jupyter Notebook, MATLAB, RStudio, and VS Code that you can run directly from here. So you are simply starting a batch job. But first, let's look at this one. So here you are configuring the batch job. You choose a desktop environment. I'm just leaving it at mate, but it's just how you want it to look. You can pick your compute project. This is the one for the course. No, number of hours, 1 up to 12. How many cores? At most 28 right now, because that's what there are on the nodes that have the fewest cores. And then pick either any, which will be CPUs, or any GPU, or large memory. I'm leaving it at any. And I'm asking for 4 cores. And in this case, that is all. And you can say you want an email when it starts if you want to. It should not take long, but let's see. So it's sitting here, and what is happening now is that it's actually a batch job that's sitting in a queue. But you can see it didn't sit very long. So here it shows you the host, and then how long you still have this allocation. And you are on one node with 4 cores, and it's running. So you say, I would like to launch it. Allow. And now you are in something that looks like the ThinLinc. But the difference is you are now actually on a compute node. So anything you run there and not on the login node. So you could open a mate terminal. It is. And then if you ran something heavy now, it would be fine because it's just running here on this node. You can see it is the one you got allocated. So, but let's see if we can find it here. Yes. But do this exercise and then take a break afterwards. And so let's take 20 minutes until 10 minutes to 11. So 10:50. Okay.